Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tuesday, October 14th Lebanon Redevelopment Commission meeting. We will call ourselves to order and begin as we do with each meeting, which is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so this evening we are all present with the exception of Mr. Parks, who is excused this evening for other engagements. First item we have just a couple of minutes to approve here to get ourselves caught up. So Tanya, do you want to read off those dates just to make sure that we have those officially?
I sure do. The approval of minutes begin November 6th of 2024, 12/9/24, special meeting 12/19 of 24, January 3rd, February 10th, February 10th. I'm sorry, did I say that twice?
Yes, it's fine though.
Okay, good.
We did it twice.
Forget February times 2, March 10th, April 14th, May 12th, June 9th, and August 11th.
Awesome. And we're all in receipt of those. It's been a little bit actually. So I would entertain any motions.
I'll make a motion we approve all the minutes that have been presented.
You have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Those are approved. Thank you very much, Tanya, for that. Old business, I see no old business for us, so we will move directly on to new business. And I think Ben is going to kick us off to get us started. Item 1 is a public hearing on an amending the declaratory resolution.
All right, I will start off by just giving a real brief overview, recap of the New Cold project. The next 3 items are all related to that project. This is the second stop for this project at the RDC, as we are now in the process of putting together the bond documents associated with this project. So just as a quick reminder, this is the project location on the south side of town. New Cold's phase 1 and 2 project is just north of this site here, and phase 3 will be located on this highlighted site here. Phase 3 is about a $500 million project that they're hoping to start here in the very near future. This is just a quick site overview. Again, this is actually a multi-phase project in itself. Again, you can see their existing site here to the north. This site will include additional high bay cold storage, administrative offices, and logistics and truck parking here. Again, that's a project they're hoping to start later this year, first of next year. And this just gives you just a quick high-level view of the site. This is actually hovering over the existing Lebanon Business Park looking south, and this is the phase 1 part, the first part of the phase 3 part project that you see highlighted here in this rendering. So again, as I mentioned, this is the second stop for this project here at the RDC, and a lot of what we're going to be doing tonight is confirming what was done previously. These projects were also at the Economic Development Commission earlier this evening for their part of the process, and those resolutions were approved by the Economic Development Commission. So we stop here, and then we're also introducing bond documents at the council tonight as well. So a lot of things happening this evening, but be happy to answer any questions on the overall project before I turn it over to the real experts that are here in the audience from Dinsmore and Baker Tilly.
Any questions for Ben? Great. With that, I believe we have Catherine Finello, correct? From Dinsmore.
Thank you. Good evening. So the first resolution that you have with respect to New Cold is a confirmatory resolution. If you recall, we adopted an amending declaratory resolution for the Lebanon Consolidated Economic Development Area, and particularly with respect to the New Cold Phase 3 allocation area. So you adopted that on August 11th. And that amendment was to allow the capture of incremental personal property taxes in the proposed Phase 3 expansion area. So this resolution confirms your actions on that date, and you are required to hold a public hearing to hear from the public on confirming the amending declaratory resolution. And I think that's it for that one.
Yeah, Rob, if you could go ahead and hit the highlights on Resolution 2025-07 for me.
Thank you, Commission members. Again, Resolution 2025-07 is a resolution confirming amending declaratory resolution 2025-04, which was adopted on August 11, 2025. As Catherine indicated, in accordance with Indiana law, the Commission has caused to be published certain notices for a public hearing to be held here momentarily. On October 14th, the Commission has conducted the public hearing, and it finds that and determines it will be a public utility and benefit to proceed with a designated taxpayer amendment. The mandatory declaratory resolution and taxpayer amendment is approved by this Commission and confirmed, and the amending declaratory resolution shall be attached to and incorporated into this resolution as Exhibit A, and this shall be in full force and effect upon adoption.
Thank you, Rob. So any questions for Catherine before we open the public hearing from the commission? So seeing none, I will go ahead and open the public hearing. So the public hearing is officially open on Resolution 2025-07, which is confirming the amending declaratory resolution. If you have any comments, please feel free to step to the microphone. Limit your comments to 3 minutes if possible. No aggressive movements towards the microphone. I will officially close the public hearing on Resolution 2025-07. And unless there are any follow-up remarks from the commission, I would entertain a motion.
So move, we accept the resolution as presented.
We have a motion to accept Resolution 2025-07. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry.
Mr. President, could
Yeah.
you ensure that we reflect in the minutes that we authorized a public hearing and then no one stepped forward, so we have a document?
Yes. So on that resolution, there was a public hearing held. No one did step to the microphone. Perfect. Yes. All right. So that is item 2 on the agenda. So we will move forward to Resolution 2025-08. And we'll have Catherine again on this one.
Good evening again. So before you, you have a resolution pledging New Cold Phase 3 allocation TIF revenues. As Ben mentioned earlier, the Economic Development Commission met earlier and approved the New Cold Phase 3 proposed financing, which is an issuance of taxable economic development revenue bonds not to exceed $20,500,000. This resolution pledges the incremental personal and real property taxes generated from this new project, the Phase 3 project, to those bonds. And again, the council will hear introduction this evening, and they would consider it for adoption at the next meeting, which is October 27th.
Great. Any questions for Catherine from the commission? Rob, do we want to read in or?
You also have.
Perfect.
Oh, yes. They have prepared feasibility studies if there are any questions on the tax increment to be generated from the project.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Emma Adlam from Baker Tilly will join us at the microphone.
Right, good evening, everyone. Part of my voice. Emma Adlam from Baker Tilly. Just a couple of slides to summarize what Catherine covered, the highlights that these bonds will be paid solely from the New Cold Phase 3 allocation area, from the TIF generated in that allocation area, and the company is also adding a guarantee as an additional layer of security. The bonds will be purchased by a third party. And the estimated repayment is based on the project TIF, so level debt service with the ability to prepay the bonds if the TIF is greater than the debt service payments. And it's the same structure as the Phase 1 and Phase 2 bond issue. Of the 20,500,000, this is the estimated sources and uses, that the company would receive 16,760,000 to go towards the project cost. The bonds will have to set aside about 3.5 million of capitalized interest because there's interest due on the bonds and there's a mismatch between the timing of the bonds being issued now and the project being completed when it's assessed, when they start paying taxes. So that there has to be about 3.5 million set aside to pay interest during that period before the TIF starts being generated. And then allowance for bond issuance costs and bank fees or the bond purchaser fees. And lastly, this is a chart comparing the estimated project TIF to the debt service. So the shaded area in the back is the estimated TIF generated from real and personal property. The columns are the estimated debt service payments. It's over a 25-year term, but as you can see, the TIF is estimated to be greater than the debt service payments. So in all likelihood, the bonds will be paid faster than that 25-year term.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Emma. Representative from New Cold, or? And I know we have a representative from New Cold here. Do you guys wish to add anything? Right.
Good evening. I'm Ted Butler with New Cold Incentives Manager. Just want to thank the RDC for your continued support for New Cold for this project. One thing just to point out about Phase 3 is this will be New Cold's largest facility globally. We operate across 3 continents, North America, Australia, and Europe. And it's exciting that we're doing it here in Lebanon, and that Lebanon will be really the cornerstone of our growth strategy in the U.S. So very much looking forward to it. Again, we'll create 200 jobs, capital investment of north of $500 million. And we expect to complete construction of the facility the end of 2027.
Fantastic. Very good stuff. Yes. No, there would be no prepayment penalty within this. Correct. So with that, do we need to read some in, Rob?
I'll hit the highlights, Mr. President. Commission members, Resolution 2025-08 is a resolution of this commission pledging New Cold Phase 3 allocation area TIF revenues. On August 11, 2025, the commission adopted Resolution 2025-05, the amending declaratory resolution. The city is considering the issuance of taxable economic development revenue bonds that's defined as the New Cold Project Phase 3 in one or more series in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $20,500,000. As Mr. Butler indicated, the investment is approximately $504 million, and they're looking to add 200 jobs for this project. The Commission desires to pledge the New Cold Phase 3 real property TIF revenues and the personal property TIF revenues less any expenses with the administration of the bonds. This commission therefore finds as follows: that the pledge of the TIF revenues to finance a portion of the cost of the project will accomplish the consolidated plan and promote economic development of the city in the consolidated area. This commission pledges the pledged TIF revenue to the payment of debt service on the bond for a term of years not to exceed the term of the bonds as provided in the trust indenture. Any officer of this commission is authorized and directed to enter into one or more agreements with the company, guaranteed minimum tax payments. And any officer of this commission is authorized to take any such actions and execute any documents as they deem necessary and appropriate to effectuate the pledge of the TIF revenues set forth in this resolution, and it shall be in full force and effect upon passage.
Great. Thank you very much, Rob. So with that, commission members, any questions from any of our partners who have given us any information on New Cold? Seeing. This one does not have a public hearing. Nope. Item 4 would, but not this one.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 2025-8.
Now, second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2025-08. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. Thank you very much. And that concludes the new cold portion of the meeting with those 3 items. We'll move on to Paddock Place. And Ben, I think you're going to give us a little narrative here.
Very quick, and then I'll turn it over to John Pedalick from Spectra to do a little bit more detail on the project. I know John did present to you last time when this was introduced, and I asked him to provide just a little bit more information on the infrastructure costs associated with the project, which is the target of the TIF bond associated with this project. So let me just pull this up real quick again. Spectra is proposing a multifamily development on this site. It's on the north side of town. State Road 39 here to the east, 300 north, just on the north side. What's somewhat unique about this site is that we've got other developments going on both north and south. So this project does include a fairly significant public infrastructure cost to it, and not just private utilities. So it does have a public road that will be extended through the site, and also utilities, water and sanitary sewer, that will run through the site, both to serve the site, but then also to serve Spring Creek to the north. So that's somewhat unique from other projects in that it does have public utilities and not just private utilities serving the site. The other thing about this project is that as multifamily housing, it's really directed at attracting workforce housing and workforce of the future here in the city of Lebanon to the site, where affordability starting out is really a goal. So we're talking about our teachers, our nurses, and more particularly the advanced manufacturing and logistics workforce will work at places like New Cold that we just talked about, or Eli Lilly, where we've got new people to the community that are looking for a place to land and live in addition to work. So that's really the target of this project. So really the goal here is to try to use the bond to try to offset some of that public infrastructure costs. As John will go through here in a second, it does not offset the entirety of the public infrastructure cost. And the structure of the bond is such that we have anticipated a certain amount of project tax increment, and we'll use about 80% of that tax increment towards the bonds, and then the remaining 20% will pass through then to the Redevelopment Commission. So we've only pledged 80% of the increment to the bonds associated with this project. So with that, then I'll turn it over to John, and he can give you a little bit more information about the project as a reminder, and then talk a little bit about some of those public infrastructure costs.
Thank you, Ben.
Good evening. Thanks again for taking the time to allow us to come and present the project and discuss the TIF component here. So again, just to recap, you guys know the location now since Ben just went through it, but right on 300 North, just a little bit west of 39. The project consists a total of 230 rental units, 210 of which are more your traditional apartment style, and then 20 row homes with an attached garage. This is a brief kind of layout of the site. I did have to rotate it to make sure it kind of fit on there. So north is now to your left, but you can see the row homes are on 300 North there, and then the traditional, more conventional apartments are behind that. A little bit of an overview of the type of layouts that we have. 1 and 2 bedroom units. We do have a bit of a unique type layout that we're going to put in this project that actually is a 2-story unit. So it's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2-story apartment, and then a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story apartment as well. That's separate from the row homes, which are three floors, garage on the first floor, and then living area on the second and third floor. Just a quick overview of kind of where the TIF component sits in the capital stack for the project. Total project is about $55 million, and between our debt and our equity, we're able to support a good chunk of that, but about a $3 million gap that comes with still, as Ben had mentioned, one of the key components here is really trying to keep the costs in line so we can pass some of those savings down and keep rents in line, because home ownership has become very, very challenging, as we all know, for a lot of different reasons. And so really trying to focus the rents and the project towards that growing workforce of, as we call it, essential living for your essential workers. So a little bit more on the infrastructure that Ben had mentioned. So again, this is the layout of the site. This is kind of the portion where there's a lot of the infrastructure and site-related costs associated. More detail, we've got additional stormwater facilities that have to go in underground and more part of the parking lot. The road has been mentioned that goes all the way through the project, connecting the Lennar subdivision to the south and the Spring Creek development to the north. That also has water line expansion and then also sanitary sewer. Going back real quick on the stormwater, there also is the legal drain that's going to be replaced to the north as well. Total infrastructure costs for the project, hard costs, we estimate them right now to be about $4.6 million. The associated soft costs with the infrastructure, we estimate to be about $950,000 to $1 million. So all in about $5.5 million of total infrastructure costs going into the project. Again, as Ben mentioned, and you saw on our capital stack here, the TIF component comprises about $2.9 million of that. So it doesn't cover all of it, but it definitely makes a good chunk and it helps. So with that, if there's any questions I can answer, I'm happy to on the project.
What do you think your rental rate's going to be? Any idea what you're looking for?
Yeah, our one bedrooms, we want to start, we want them to start below $1,500. So in the $1,400, high $1,400 number. And our two bedrooms around $1,750 or so.
Your square footage on those two units?
One bedrooms they range, but they're between 800 and 1,000 square feet. And the two bedrooms are around 1,000 to 1,100 square feet.
Other questions from the commission for John?
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Catherine, I would love for you to step to the podium again. Do you have more to add?
All right. Let me open up my handy dandy iPad. All right, so you have a confirmatory resolution before you. On August 11th, if you recall, the Redevelopment Commission created the Paddock Place Economic Development Area and designated that entire area as an allocation area and also approved an economic development plan for the area. So tonight you will be confirming after holding a public hearing, confirming those actions. And this was a TIF area created specifically for the Paddock Place project. So it is what we call a footprint TIF project, just this project only.
Thank you very much. And then just to confirm, because of the nature, it is not a residential TIF, correct?
Correct.
I know that question had come up.
Right, yes,
in the
this is not
past,
under
so-
the residential TIF statute.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Rob, you have some,
Yes, Mr. President, Commission, before the public hearing, I'll hit the highlights of this resolution 2025-09. Again, is a confirming resolution of 2025-05 adopted on August 11th, 2025, as Catherine indicated. The commission will conduct a public hearing momentarily, but this commission finds that is considered evidence presented at this meeting in the public hearing and now finds and determines that it will be a public utility and benefit to proceed with the establishment of the area, the plan in the form approved by the commission and the declaratory resolution and the proposed project set forth in the plan. The declaratory resolution and the plan approved by the commission on August 11, 2025 are incorporated herein and confirmed. This resolution constitutes final action pursuant to Indiana law and determines the public utility and benefit of the proposed project in the plan and confirming declaratory resolution pertaining to the area. And the Secretary of the Commission is directed to record this resolution with the Boone County Recorder and file a recorded stamped copy with the Indiana Department of Local Government. This resolution shall be in a full force and effect upon adoption.
Great. Thank you very much, Rob. So with that, as you heard, this does have a public hearing component. So we will officially open the public hearing on Resolution 2025-09, which is the confirming a mandatory declaratory resolution. Lots of words. If you have any comment, please feel free to step to the microphone, share with us your name, brief comments. While I hear a rustle in the hallway, no one is moving towards the microphone. So seeing as no individuals have approached the microphone, we will close the public hearing. So the public hearing was open and closed. No public comment was taken on the public hearing. And with that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 2025-9.
So we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? We have a second from...
Second.
Perfect. So we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2025-09. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. Thank you very much. And I believe that is going to take us to item 6 on our agenda, which is resolution number 2025-10. And Miss Catherine Fennell.
Evening again. So you have before you a resolution pledging the Paddock Place allocation area tax increment revenues to propose taxable economic development revenue bonds. The Lebanon Economic Development Commission also considered this project at its meeting earlier today and approved the form of the proposed financing, which is taxable economic development revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $3,200,000. And as Ben mentioned, 80% of the incremental tax increment revenues will be pledged to the bond, with the Redevelopment Commission retaining 20% of the TIF revenues. Happy to answer any other questions if you have it. And Baker Tilly is here with a feasibility study as well.
Any questions for Catherine? Perfect. With that, Miss Emma Adlam from Baker Tilly. See, I caught on to the second half of the meeting. The first half just set us up for the easy second half.
Okay. Similar to the first bond issue, just a little summary that Catherine mentioned as well. The bonds they're similar to the new cold bonds, but there is a difference in that the Paddock Place bonds will be purchased by the developer. And so they're payable solely from that 80% pledge. There is no company guarantee because as the developer is the purchaser, they bear that risk. That if the TIF isn't generated, that 80% isn't generated as estimated, then the company just doesn't get paid that full debt service payment. The bonds are structured for a full 25-year term, and the payments are structured to be equal to the estimated project TIF. The sources and uses is a lot simpler compared to the prior project, in that the estimated par amount is $2,855,000. About $150,000 of estimated for issuance costs. And then the remaining $2.7 million, that's not upfront cash generated for the company. They have to invest that money, and then they get repaid over time through the debt service payments. And finally, this chart is the estimated repayment. The shaded area is that 80% of project TIF. There is a gap, like the new cold bonds, between when the debt service is issued, when the bonds are issued and interest starts, and when the TIF is generated. So you see there will be a shortfall in the beginning years. And then we've just set the annual debt service payments to be equal to the estimated annual TIF that is pledged to the bond issue.
Perfect. Any questions for Emma? Any questions from any of our partners that have come to join us this evening? Perfect. So I would entertain a motion after we read this in from Rob.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Commission Resolution 2025-10 is a resolution of this commission pledging the Paddock Place allocation area TIF revenues. Again, as has been presented, the city is considering the issuance of taxable economic development revenue bonds for the Paddock Place project in an amount not to exceed $3,200,000. This commission finds that the pledge of pledged Paddock Place TIF revenues to finance the cost of all or a portion of the project will help accomplish the plan and promote economic development within the city and the area. This commission pledges the pledged Paddock Place TIF revenues to the payment of debt service on the bonds for a term of years not to exceed the term of the bonds. The Redevelopment Commission reserves the right to use the remaining 20% of the Paddock Place TIF revenues for any purposes permitted by law. The pledged Paddock Place TIF revenues shall be set aside and transferred to the trustee for the bonds as the manner set forth in the trust indenture. Any officer of this commission is authorized to take such further actions and execute any documents as they deem necessary or appropriate to effectuate the pledge of the TIF revenue set forth herein, and this resolution shall be in full force and effect upon passage.
There was a lot going on in there. Perfect. So we are now officially read in. So I believe we can entertain a motion at this point on 2025-10.
Move that motion 2025-10 on the Paddock Place resolution be approved as presented.
We have a motion and a second to approve 2025-10. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. Thank you all very much on that item.
Mr. President, Commission members, I want to just a point of clarification. I think for the record, and I may ask this, Catherine, I noticed, I think something may have been transcribed by mistake in Resolution 2025-08 that I read into the record, which had a reference to Resolution 2025-05. And this is on the new code. Phase 3 allocation TIF revenues. I think that should read 2025-04. And if it does, I would like to seek a motion to amend Resolution 2025-08. It's in the second full paragraph from 2025-05 to 2025-04.
So was it 07 or 08? I have 04, but I have a reference to 07.
And 8.
And it's
referenced to. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So to clarify and to accept the motion, so under item 3 on our agenda, we heard resolution 2025-08. Within that resolution, it makes note on paragraph 2 to a resolution 2025-05. That should be amended, and the motion is on the table to make the amendment to 2025-04. So within the text of the resolution, it's just a simple update to 2025-04. That amendment motion has been made by Mr. Campbell. Do we have a second on that motion? He made the motion. We need a second.
I'll second the motion as presented.
Yeah, either one. They have second and thirded. So we have a motion and a second on the amendment of the amendment. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Perfect. So I know that is a small item, but I promise you, our attorneys really enjoy the fact that we just fixed that properly. So with that, I believe that handles all of our new business. The only other item I have on the agenda is to pay our claims, and I would entertain a motion to do so. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to pay the claims. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. And for the most favorite of the evening, we have a motion to adjourn
Second.
and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. We will see you in November.